And welcome back. Public safety was on the mind of most people who gathered in White Oak this week to discuss the need for improved policing, prompted by two high-profile homicides in Silver Spring, which occurred in December. You know, the police and the politicos met with the public to discuss the growing perception and the feeling of unease in Montgomery County over the rising crime rate. According to Council Member Kristen Mink, firearm-related violence in White Oak increased by 41% in 2021, but an additional 20% on top of that in 2022. Shocking statistics. Maricé, you just mentioned you're on the Public Safety Commission, so you're familiar with these topics. In 2020, the County Council reduced the police department budget by $8.5 million. And in 2021, Bethesda Beat reported that Montgomery County Police Department has had difficulty in filling its ranks due to poor pay, the pandemic, and most strongly, there's a growing anti-police sentiment. So what can be done to make people feel safe again?
So just a quick clarification. So I'm on the Public Safety Committee for the Moore administration, not the county.
Okay, well.
But that said, you know, I have always said you get what you pay for. Montgomery County Police Department, we have the lowest budget for any first year recruited officers in the whole DMV area. I think that the public would agree. You know, we want our officers that are out, you know, putting their life on the line for us to be compensated as such and to be respected. And I think that that's, you know, having any kind of decrease to the budget, like I said, the morale is already low. I personally met with the president of the FOP. You know, he is a millennial, he's young, he has really kind of modern ideas and really welcomes diversity. So I think it's more so what we need is a culture shift rather than, you know, telling law enforcement officers that we don't have their backs. So I think that individuals like, you know, that were present at the public hearing over at White Oak, they need to continue to hold those so that our leaders can hear them fully. Because, you know, the campaign trail really changes some of the tunes that people were talking about. And now that they're kind of like sitting in the job, now they actually have to, you know, smell the roses and really have a realistic view of what's happening in Montgomery County and in the state in general.
So, but I want to follow up just a little bit on that because Maricé, I mean, certainly in the past 2 years, the General Assembly and here in Montgomery County, there have been changes in laws, particularly with police immunity and the ability to have citizens, you know, file charges and claims against police officers that undermines that same, you know, message that the government has the back of the police community.
So Montgomery County actually had that model from the beginning. So we, at the state level, we actually modeled it after what had been working with the county. And it's something that it was written within the, you know, the labor agreements between the FOP and the county, you know, and when it comes to some of the state court issues with police immunity, we're really codifying something that was really part of case law. So I think a lot of times we get kind of stuck in, you know, propaganda, and even some council members, I would say, have touted their own horns, claiming success, when really it was something that Montgomery County Police had already done in the past, and we codified it at the state level.
Okay, so Mark, rightly or wrongly, there is this perception generally that there's an anti-police sentiment by many politicians. And Peter Moskos, a former Baltimore police officer now teaching at John Jay College, commented on this anti-police sentiment and had these observations. He said, congratulations, you've increased the Black murder rate. You've given Black worse policing through the transfer of cops and retirements, and doing it smugly in the name of racial justice. So is it possible to accomplish Governor Moore's goals of police forces moving with appropriate intensity, integrity, and accountability?
Well, I certainly hope so. Let me just kind of respond to it. First of all, I think Maricé referenced the fact that jurisdictions across the board are having trouble recruiting police officers. This is a common problem across the board. Certainly Montgomery County is having that issue, but other jurisdictions are as well. And I think, as you described, it reflects a change in attitudes towards law enforcement in general as a result of the last couple of years. And that's a challenge. And it's a challenge in particular, not just filling positions, but filling positions with people who are, dedicated to law enforcement, who are trained and respond and develop it as professionals. So that is,
I mean, not to interrupt, we have but
sure.
The Bethesda Beat, when they reported on the recruitment issue, said that there were 248 that applied for the police academy and only 17 matriculated to being officers. That's a terrible situation.
And that I think in many of those cases there were other jurisdictions that picked up those officers, and so this is a sort of longer term challenge that we're having, sort of as a fallout of the last couple of years of attracting the people we need to become police officers.
All right, so well, thank you both. That was a great discussion on a very touchy topic, but one that is very important for the safety of all Montgomery County residents.